Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Sai-Shwaraya vidmahe, Satya-devaya dhimahi, Tanna sarva prachodayat. Om Sai-Shwaraya vidmahe, Satya-devaya
Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, a most loving and compassionate Swami, is the only avatar to have set up an organization bearing his holiest name during his physical sojourn on earth. In his divine discourse on 21st November 1968, Swami asks the question, what is the special need for an organization bearing my name? And he gives the answer, you must realize me in all and serve all in a spirit of worshipful dedication. Thousands of devotees from all over the world have been active members of the Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization. Filled with overflowing love and gratitude for Swami, they visit Prashanti Nilayam to bask in the direct presence and feel his divine proximity. Swami has selected Prashanti Nilayam as his center for the Sri Sathya Sai avatar. In his own words,
ఇక్కడ మరికొన్ని సందేహాలంతా కూడా కొంతమందికి కలత పెడుతూ ఉంటాది. ఇంటర్నేషనల్ అనేటువంటి దీని లోపల మనము యావత్ ప్రపంచం యొక్క సత్యసాయి సంస్థల యొక్క కార్యకర్తల యొక్క భావాలను కొంతమంది చక్కగా అర్థం చేసుకోవటం లేదు. వరల్డ్ కౌన్సిల్ అనేటువంటి వారి యొక్క సంబంధ బాంధవ్యాన్ని కూడా వారు చక్కగా గుర్తించడం లేదు. కొన్ని దేశములకు ప్రత్యేకించినటువంటి ఒక ప్రతినిధిని మనం నియమించుకోవాలని ప్రయత్నం చేస్తున్నాం. ఈ ప్రతినిధిని ఏ రీతిగా నియమించాలి, ఎవరు నియమించాలి, దీనికి మరికొంతమందికి కూడా కొన్ని ఆపోహలు ఉంటున్నాయి. అక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి భక్తుల లోపల వారి యొక్క ఆశయాలను ఆధారం చేసుకొని భక్తుల యొక్క ఇచ్చ ప్రకారమే అక్కడ సెలక్షన్ కావాలి అంటారు. ఈ విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క కలతలు ప్రారంభమైతే ఇది క్రమక్రమేణా ఒక పాలిటిక్స్ అంటారు చూడండి, అక్కడ కొన్ని రకమైనటువంటి ఎలక్షన్ గా తయారవుతుంది. ఈ ఎలక్షన్ లోపల ప్రేమలు పూర్తి కూడా చచ్చిపోతాయి. నిజముగా మనము ప్రేమను పెంచుకోవాలంటే ఎలక్షన్ లో మనం దిగ్గూడదు, సెలక్షన్ లో ఉండాలి. ఆ సెలక్షన్ సెంట్రల్ టెస్ట్ ద్వారా పోవాలి. ఎవరికెవరు వారికి వారు పోట్లాడుకొని వారికి వారి కలహములు పెంచుకొని విభాగముల చేత అనేక రకమైనటువంటి విషయాన్ని తర్కించుకోవటానికి ప్రయత్నించకూడదు. ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా, నిజముగా సత్యసాయి సంస్థలు యందు ఎట్టి పవిత్రమైన భావాలు ఉంటున్నాయనేటువంటిది లోకం కూడా గుర్తిస్తూనే ఉంటుండాలి. సామాన్యమైనటువంటి సంసారులు కనుక కేవలం మానవ మాత్రులుగా ఉండటం చేత ఏదో కొంతమంది తప్పులు చేస్తూ ఉండవచ్చును. అంత మాత్రం చేత సంస్థలకు ఏమాత్రం కూడా దెబ్బ తగలదు. నిజంగా సత్యసాయి సంస్థలు చేస్తున్నటువంటి త్యాగము వర్ణనాతీతం.
Swami has lovingly conducted hundreds of meetings, conferences and programs at Prashanti Nilayam at the behest of the Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization. Devotees come to Prashanti Nilayam from all over the world as Sai centers have sprung up in so many countries. However, Swami said that a close coordination with Prashanti Nilayam is always needed.
కనుక అక్కడ నుంచి కూడాను అక్కడ జరిగేటువంటి యొక్క పద్ధతుల గురించి మన ఇండియాకు తెలుపుతూ రావాలి. భారతదేశంలో ఏ ఏ పద్ధతులను అనుసరిస్తున్నామో వారి వారి దేశకాల పరిస్థితుల ప్రభావాన్ని గురించి వారు కూడా ఆ పద్ధతులు కొంచెం వరకు అభివృద్ధి పరచుకోవాలి. కనుక అక్కడి నుంచి కూడాను ఈ ఇండియాకు ఆ పరిస్థితులు తెలపాలి. ఆ ఆఫీస్ ఇప్పుడు ప్రశాంతి నిలయం ఆఫీసు.
Helping devotees to make Swami the center of their lives has been the most important aspect of the organization. In fact, Swami has himself given 3 qualifications needed to become a member of the organization. Firstly, those wanting to become members should be eager spiritual aspirants. Secondly, they must have full faith in the name that the organization bears and in spreading that name in a manner suitable to its message and majesty. And finally, the member must have won recognition as a good person. Swami goes on to emphasize that no other qualification like money, scholarship, influence, authority, or official position is needed. He further declared that for a person with the above-mentioned qualifications, even if they have no place in any organization bearing his name, they will have a place in his heart.
Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer myself at the divine lotus feet of our dearest Bhagawan. I pray that he guides all of us through this day of activities so that we may befittingly serve him through him to all of his devotees in the entire world. Jai Sai Ram. So I want to welcome all of you to this officers leadership retreat from I to we to he. I want to first off just express my gratitude for the sacrifice that all of you are making. I know you have many activities, many responsibilities, and the fact that you made this sacrifice shows how much you respect Bhagwan's organization and how important that organization has been and continues to be for Bhagwan. So we have a very busy program of activities, and I want to get right into it. And so what I'll do is I'll introduce each of the incoming national presidents, and I'll have the outgoing national presidents as well introduce and express their gratitude to the outgoing and incoming teams that are coming into the national officer and some of the regional officer positions. And so Swami always says, love my uncertainty. So the incoming national president for Canada, Brother Aruno, had a family emergency and his flights were delayed and he's stuck in transit on an airplane as we speak. But he was gracious enough to give us a recording of his talk that he'll be giving later on. And so I just want to go ahead and introduce, say a few words about Brother Aruno. He was going to introduce the rest of the candidate team. If somebody's there to do it, otherwise I'll do that as well. So Brother Arun Uthayan, he comes from a family which has been followers of Bhagwan since 1968. His first family pilgrimage was 1969 to Puttaparthi. He enrolled in the Bal Vikas program at its inception in 1970 in Sri Lanka. He graduated from that program in 79. He then joined the newly established Sri Sathya Sai College of Arts and Sciences in Prasanthi Nilayam. He completed his BCom and MCom degrees in 1986. He played sitar as part of the music group, and he chanted Veda as part of the Veda chanting group. He's held multiple organizational roles, both in Sri Lanka, Abu Dhabi, and currently Canada. He has a particular passion for spiritual development of youth, and many youth look up to him as a role model. And he's been serving as an advisor to the Sri Sathya Sai Global Council, and now he's taken on the role of president for Canada for the Sri Sathya Sai Global Council. And I want to, on his behalf, express our gratitude to the outgoing Canada team. They've been wonderful examples of unity and coming together and working together as a team. And I've learned so much from all of them, and they promise that they'll be sticking around and helping throughout the incoming new officer terms. The incoming team is going to be Hanuman Prasad. Brother Hanuman will be the Vice President of Canada. We'll have Sister Kalyani Vimalasan as the National Educare Coordinator. We'll have Brother Sitaram Bahara, the National Devotional Coordinator, and we'll have Brother Yoga Kumaran Nataraja, who'll serve as the National Seva Coordinator. So I want to go ahead and introduce our Trinidad National President, who will then go ahead and introduce the rest of the incoming Trinidad team. So I want to say a few words about Mr. Shiva, or Anderson Shiva Ramdas. He's also from a long line of family devotees of Bhagwan. He's been a devotee since 1978 and an office bearer since 1993, serving at multiple roles in the West Indies at center, regional, and national levels. He's been used by Swami as the instrument to be the founding member of the Lange Park Sai Center. He's most recently completed serving as the vice president for Global Council Trinidad before stepping into this current role. In 1999, he attended the Second World Youth Conference in Prashanti Nilayam. He also has a passion for spiritual development of Sai youth, and many look up to him as a role model. And professionally, for 30 years, he's been an experienced businessman in the information technology and management field, and he currently serves as CEO director of 5 corporations. So with that, I want to introduce Brother Anderson Shiva to introduce the incoming Trinidad team.
Om Sri Sai-Ram, dear brothers and sisters. As was told, my name is Anderson Shiva Ramdas, and I've been humbly selected to serve as the president of the Sri Sathya Global Council of Trinidad and Tobago. On the very outset, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the outgoing president and his entire team for their dedicated service in Swami's work. I would also like to wish and thank the new national coordinators who have agreed to serve with humility, unity, and a spirit of selfless service. Each one has stepped forward not for position, but for responsibility, and I am deeply grateful for their willingness to serve. We are also blessed to have with us today our advisor for the West Indies, Brother Faiz Mohammed, whose guidance and steady counsel are invaluable as we move forward together. This journey ahead is not about individual, but about teamwork, unity, and alignment with Swami's will in the front. May we move forward with simplicity, sincerity, and love, keeping Swami at the center of all that we do. I will now introduce the national team for the Sri Sathya Sai Global Council, Trinidad and Tobago. As the president, yours truly, Anderson Shiva Ramdas. Secondly, our vice president, Brother Sathya Prashant Sao. Third, we have our devotional coordinator, Brother Navin Rampasad. Our education coordinator, Sister Priya Maraj. Our ladies wing or Mahila coordinator, we have Sister Gayatri Maraj. Our media coordinator, Brother Srishti Ramdas. And our advisor to the West Indies, who is here with us today, Brother Faiz Mohammed. With this team that Swami has chosen, we have full faith that whatever task is placed before us, it will be fulfilled with the support of all of you here today in this conference and under the guidance of our dear brother Akshay, who reminds us all the time, it is not about quantity, but it is about quality. So as we move forward as one family, trusting completely in our beloved Lord, Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Om Sri Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Looking forward for all of us to see more and more Brother Shiva's guidance and wisdom. I want to now introduce the current president for the U.S., Balasubramaniam Karanam, Dr. Balasubramaniam, who will also introduce the incoming team. And the USA, because they're going on a national pilgrimage this summer, the decision was made that they were going to serve concomitantly. The old officers were going to stay until the pilgrimage to help guide the incoming officers. So I want to introduce Brother Balu. I know many of you already know him because he's been very active the past few years, but I want to say a few words about him, and then he'll introduce the rest of the team. And Brother Balu is also from a long-term family of Sai followers. In fact, Brother Balu was born in a small village near Puttaparthi. His grandmother was a classmate of Swami in the primary school. He attended the Puttaparthi Village School, Ishrama High School, went on to develop his postgraduate from chemistry from Swami's University, and then he moved to the US where he obtained his PhD from the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, and currently he is a cancer researcher at the Tuskegee University of Alabama, serving as a professor of cancer biology. And Brother Balu has also held multiple officer roles and currently has been the USA National President. And I want to turn it over to him to introduce the incoming USA team. Sairam.
Sairam to everyone. And last almost 4.5 years, this is the team, outgoing national team, I call it. Even outgoing, also friendly, another meaning of outgoing, actually. So this is the team which built actually last 4.5 years, whether it is devotional programs or, SSSC curriculum or service related, all the systems, I call it, in the country, and also YA team, which became very strong and did a wonderful YA retreats, and we had around 4 kind of pilgrimages, including YA pilgrimage. Then currently the next team, and we will be there, and will be helping the incoming team. You can change the slide, Archana. The incoming team, it is my great pleasure to introduce. The president is Pradosh Desai. Everybody knows he is from Region 2. And the vice president is Bhagya Chandra from the Region 1. And the devotional coordinator is Vinny Raman from Region 3. And our SSSC coordinator is Supriya Karod from Region 10. And service coordinator is Brother Guna Belampalli from Region 9. You can see we are able to spread it across as much as across the country, the vast country. And also our YA male advisor is Sanjay Gandikota, and the female advisor is Sai Priya from Region 9. Sanjay is from Region 2. Then, of course, our YA representatives, Arunima Prakash and Rishi Tanawala, they'll continue because they only completed 1 term with us. So this team together now we have both outgoing and incoming. So we have a bigger team kind of until the pilgrimage, and we finish that. And as Akshay correctly said, there is nothing like stepping down in this Sathya Sai organization. We only step aside and help others to take the roles and move on. And as the new team comes in, new ideas, new kind of initiatives can be started. And also in these 4.5 years, we also, everybody must be knowing, we also had started something called Sathya Sai Global Council Foundation. Hope everybody knows about it. This is the only direct connection to Prashant Nilayam from USA. Basically, you can, if you want to like some kind of help, you want to help hospital, you want to help any educational kind of things, which is initiatives done by our central trust, you can directly send it saying that this should go to hospital or this should go to this particular seva. It will go directly from US to Prashant Nilayam, without any changes or something like that. So it's all, you can go ahead and see the website, and also, please tell all the devotees that don't get confused by any other means saying that everybody holds the Sathya Sai name, but they are connected somewhere else. That's what. Then also we have another wonderful initiative coming up in the state of Texas, Dallas. So this is a 9.14 acre land. Like this is they wanted to build a mandir called Prashanti Dham for Swami. This is a brand new mandir. Um, so they wanted to build this for especially meeting place, as well meeting place for Dallas devotees, and also for the regional retreats and national retreats, and all kinds of meetings, and also zonal meetings also we can be done in Dallas, because Dallas becomes kind of a midpoint to the US, if not really mid, but that is the closest from all sides. It's the same kind of a flying distance kind of. So this is coming up. This is it's a humongous task, and Swami is guiding us in this, and this will be, as more and more we will share with you. Thank you all. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Sairam.
And thank you, Balu. We'll go ahead and start with the next segment of the program, and we have a couple of presentations lined up, and I'll introduce Brother Pradosh before his presentation. But because Brother Aruno was tied up, he was gracious enough in the middle of all of his craziness travels to send a video a message for all of us as well. So we're going to go ahead and play Brother Aruno's video message.
My loving salutations at the lotus feet of our dearest Mother Sai. Dear sisters and brothers who have gathered here for this online retreat, my loving Sairams to all of you. I've been given an opportunity to share a few ideas about I to we to he, the theme for this retreat. This theme has been time and again taught by Swami in his discourses and in his writings. What we are engaged today is the sadhana of manana, or contemplating on it, which is essential in learning and mastering and putting into life any spiritual principle which Swami has taught us. The 3 steps are, as all of you know, is Shravana, listening, Manana, repeated contemplation, and ultimately Nididhyasana, putting it into our daily life practice. May Swami guide us in this effort. These are 3 steps of moving from I to we to he in our journey in transforming ourselves from our humanness into cultivating and exhibiting divine qualities which are inherent in each of us, which is the purpose of the organization. In the discourse Swami gave in 1968 during the First World Conference, Swami begins his first talk, with the Sanskrit verse, Na tapamsi, na tirthanam, na shastrani japahe, samsara sagarodhare, sajjanam sevanam vina. Swami says, tapas, or penance, or pilgrimage to sacred sites, or the study of scriptures, or even repetition of the divine name incessantly. These will not bear fruit of liberating us from this ocean of existence if we do not have the company of the good and we do not engage in the service of the noble. Swami says in that discourse that the purpose of the organization itself is to provide us sajjana and seva opportunities. So that's the reason the organization has taken shape. So in this organization, as leaders, we have to make some special efforts in practicing this principle of I to we to he. Though generally we understand the I is selfishness, the narrow self, putting ourselves and our family and members and all those who think are related to us, the primacy or priority. From that sense, to move to the we, where we understand and identify with the larger collective body. There are specific problems which stem. Generally, we identify this I to physical I and the people around us. However, we also could be attached to our own ideas, our own understanding of Swami's teachings. Generally, as a leader, we may have the tendency to force our understanding, our interpretation of Swami's teachings on others around us, and expect compliance and obedience. This will not be a constructive approach. What we are expected to do is to collectively come together, discuss, share, learn from each other, and come to a common understanding of Swami's teachings. And thus, we are in a state of mind where we have expanded ourselves to a collective we and then put it into practice. This is essential for anything to progress spiritually. I'm reminded of what Swami instructed Brother Vinay Kumar, who was the organizer of the first Atiruddra Mahayajna, that he had to share his ideas with other elders whom Swami had invited and get their inputs and their acceptance of his ideas. And through that, Swami taught him the essential nature of getting everyone else's buy-in, whether they are part of the project or not. Even as spectators, their inputs were valid and valuable. So that is something which all of us as leaders can emulate in our efforts to do and lead the organization. The second area where we can pay attention is not limiting the we to a narrow circle of people around us. Generally, human beings have a tendency to form cliques or groups. Why? Even each center would not like to expand beyond that center and hopefully keep the circle very narrow. From that too, we have to learn to expand to include other centers. In this, a leader has a great role to play. To lead by example. And if there are differences, either between individuals or between centers, to bring them together. Not necessarily everyone has to attend one center, but there has to be harmony, cordiality, and cooperation. This too will pave the way for us to expand our love to encompass wider and wider circles. When this is practiced, centers can expand into region as one family. The regions can expand into a nation as one family. And the nations can expand into one global family. This is the path of spirituality, and this is the path which Swami wants every individual devotee sadhaka to undertake. And as leaders, we have some responsibility in leading this effort. So this may force us also to expand in our thinking, our ideas of inclusion and exclusion. This will pave the way for us to realize our innate divinity ultimately. Also, when we undertake group activities, the we collectively should know and ensure that every activity that we undertake as a group has the focus of moving toward Swami. We should ask the question, will this activity take us forward towards Swami? So, in that sense, every effort will follow the discipline of how we would conduct ourselves, what the activity is, as if Swami himself is present in person during the activity, which will require certain kind of discipline, decorum, and the activity's goal itself. This effort will also make sure that we put into practice this principle of I to we to he. We should understand that collectively coming together and doing things together by itself will not vouchsafe our progress towards Swami. Because in this world, there are many things done by groups of people which can be very antithetical to spiritual progress. So here too, the leaders have a role to play in ensuring that everyone aligns their journey towards Swami, not by force, but through persuasion, through explaining, showing understanding to all without any partiality or preference. I'm sure Swami will guide us all in our humble efforts to journey towards Swami, along with everyone around us, for the next little while. And this hopefully is an intense sadhana exercise for all of us in our own individual journeys and collective journeys. I'm sure we will all help each other too in this effort. That's why we have all come together to discuss, contemplate, and share our ideas and thoughts with fellow attendees today. Unfortunately, I am unable to attend because of certain logistical issues, as I am not at home in my home country. I've been held up elsewhere, and my flights have got cancelled, and during the session I will be either in the airport or flying. So I will definitely miss being with you all, and I look forward to other opportunities to meet and share ideas and learn from each of you. May Swami guide us all in this journey together. Sai Ram.
Brother Runo beautifully laid out the foundation for being an officer. The foundation for this gathering is, at the end of it all, we want to please Swami, and nothing will please Swami more than our unity, and nothing will bring us closer to Swami and become Swami ourselves than by being like Swami through unity. So next up, I want to have Brother Shiva share some thoughts on the ideal Sai leader. Brother Shiva?
Saram, everyone. So my topic here today is the ideal leader or the ideal Sai leader. Seeing that our theme today is from I to we to he, I've tried to shape my reflections on leadership around this journey that we are embarking on. Rather than speak about leadership in isolation, I bring it together through this progression. How leadership begins with personal responsibility, growth through collective harmony, and ultimately find its meaning in surrender or surrendering to the divine. I hope this allows the message to come together with clarity and synergy. When I was asked to speak on this topic, ideal Sai leader, I did not feel the urge to prepare a speech about leadership. Instead, I felt the need to unlearn what the world usually calls leadership. When I say I feel the need to unlearn what the world usually calls leadership, I mean letting go of the idea that leadership is about authority, control, titles, or being seen. The world often teaches us to lead by power, speed, dominance, but Swami teaches us to lead by example, patience, listening, and love. Unlearning is necessary because Sai leadership is not about standing above others. It is about standing with them, carrying responsibilities quietly and serving without expectation. It is leadership that comes from character, not position, and from humility, not ego. In short, to lead Swami's way, we first have to empty ourselves of worldly ideas of leadership so we can be filled with service, compassion, and surrender. Because in Sai organization, leadership is not about who is in front. It is about who is willing to step aside, who is willing to listen, and who is willing to carry the weight quietly without recognition. Because, brothers and sisters, Swami never trained leaders to command. He trained them. He trained their hearts to serve. I have 5 points of leadership. I'll begin with 1 point of leadership, begins with the inner alignment. Swami was very clear that no external leadership is meaningful without inner discipline. He said, first be, then do. Before leaders, kings, or countries, we must ask ourselves quietly, is my mind calm? Is my intention clean? Am I reacting or am I responding? An ideal Sai leader leads from inner stillness, not from urgency or pressure. Swami reminds us, your own life is your message, taken from Sathya Sai Baba Prema Vahini. So leadership begins not with authority, but with self-examination. Point 2 of leadership. Leadership from authority to responsibility. Swami never encouraged leadership that controls. He encouraged leadership that cares. He once said, a leader is one who walks with those he leads, taken from Sathya Sai Baba discourses on leadership and seva. An ideal Sai leader does not stand above members. He stands among them. In practical terms, this means listening before suggesting, understanding your local realities, things that are happening locally, respecting family, work, and personal limitations, not overwhelming people with projects that becomes a challenge for them. Swami warns us clearly, service should not be a burden, it should be a joy, taken from Sathya Sai Baba, Sevadal discourses. If our leadership creates stress, fear, or exhaustion from something that was given to us, then something has drifted away from our Sai ideals. Leadership through love, not position, my 3rd point. One of the most powerful reminders Swami gave us was this: office does not make a person great. Sacrifice does. Sathya Sai Baba Divine Discourses. An ideal Sai leader does not cling to title or role. He is ready to serve whether he is seen or unseen. Swami also says, do not crave recognition, crave the opportunity to serve. Taken from Sri Sathya Sai Seva Vahini. In the Sri Sathya Sai organization, positions are temporary, but love leaves a permanent imprint. Leadership as compassion We should see a leadership as compassion. Swami taught us that compassion is not weakness. It is strength refined by love. He said, love sees no fault. Fault sees no love. Sathya Sai speaks, volume 8. An ideal style leader understands that people are on different journeys. Some move fast and some move slowly. Some are strong today, but they may be weak tomorrow. Leadership rooted in compassion does not judge. What it does, it uplifts us. And the fifth point of leadership is from we to he. As I bring it together, the highest form of Sai leadership is surrender. Swami reminded us again and again, when you feel I am the doer, you invite ego. When you feel he is the doer, you invite grace. Taken from Sathya Sai Baba Divine Discourses. An ideal leader works sincerely, plans responsibly, but leaves the outcome to our beloved Lord Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. This is where leadership transforms from management into spiritual practice. So when we speak of an ideal leader, we are not speaking of someone perfect. We are speaking of someone willing to listen, someone willing to learn, someone willing to love, and someone willing to step back when it is needed. Swami summarized it beautifully in this line: hands in society, heads in the forest. Taken from Sathya Sai Discourses, Balance of Life. This means we should be fully involved in our worldly duties, family, work, service, and leadership, while keeping our mind rooted in spiritual awareness. Our hands must work actively and responsibly in society, but our head, mind, and heart should remain detached, calm, focus on God, values, and the higher purpose that we are here on earth for. In practice, it teaches us balance. Serve sincerity without distraction. Lead actively without ego, Swami says. Act in the world, but remain inwardly anchored in truth, love, and humility. Swami reminds us that spirituality is not withdrawal from life, but purity of intentions while living fully within this life that we are given on this earth. So to me, brothers and sisters, this is an ideal Sai leader that walks together with everyone. The same, not stand on a pedestal and orders for anyone to do what they think that it should be done, but work with each other. We may lead not to remember or to be remembered by, but so that we can work with Sai and continue quietly, lovingly, and joyfully serving this divine avatar that came just for us so that we can be liberated and be merged back one with him in that spiritual divine realm. So with this, brothers and sisters, I want to thank you for listening and being part of this program here today. Om Sri Sai Ram.
Brother, very, very beautifully and powerfully stated. I think the uniqueness of Bhagwan's organization was beautifully summarized. Next up, we have incoming USA President, Brother Pradosh, and he's going to be talking about unity. And I do want to give a little introduction for him as well. Brother Pradosh came into Swami's fold in the mid-90s when he was in Sydney, Australia, and was there until 1997, attending many centers in Australia. He then moved to the Detroit and then finally the Washington, D.C. metro area, where he continually actively served in many roles over the years. He was the instrument that Bhagwan used to found two centers, the Falls Church Center and the Loudon Center. One of his passions has been Seva. He's helped organize over 18 medical camps in the Washington, D.C. metro area and in Goa, India. And he served as a lead non-medical volunteer at the Sri Sathya Sai Global Council medical camps in Prashanti Nilayam. He's also been fortunate to be part of 3 Parthi pilgrimages, visiting Swami in 2010 and then in later years. And he just finished serving as the regional president for Region 2 Sri Sathya Sai Global Council, USA. And professionally, he owns his own IT consulting company, and he serves the U.S. Defense Department and federal government. So, Brother Pradosh, love to hear your thoughts.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I'm going to use a big screen here, but I'm going to use my iPhone because the iPhone has a better microphone. So I hope my voice is coming out okay, and you can also see me. I'll start sharing my presentation. So I have this very important and vital topic for presenting today, the importance of unity. And we all know how important this is and how critical this is for a Sai organization. But more importantly, this is very, very critical at an individual level. And individual level, it is a building block for all of us when we are having unity within ourselves. And we'll come to that, what exactly it means. Then, of course, the unity at societal level, or that is at family level or organization level, will follow. So today, we'll try to make this presentation a little bit more interactive. I will have some, with Archana's help, I will have some questions and answers that we will also explore as we get along. This whole thing probably will take about 10 to 15 minutes altogether. You can all see my slide, I'm assuming. You can see that my agenda is what unity is and is not. That is first thing we're going to check and define what exactly it entails and what it doesn't entail. And then afterwards, we are going to see and little bit look into what is unity at the individual level. And then, of course, as mentioned, family level and Sathya Sai organization level unity. Everything is you're able to see properly, my agenda and all?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's go on to the next slide. Before even I go into describing what unity truly means, Anshana, we don't have to go with this question, showing it as a poll. Okay, I'll just go with this, on the slide here. Which of the following best describes unity in a Sai organization or any group working together? This is a small, mentally we have to do this, and if anybody wants to give me an answer later on, that's fine. Everyone agrees on everything and thinks alike. Does it mean this? Does it mean that everyone agrees on everything and thinks alike? Does it mean that differences of opinion are avoided for maintaining the peace? Does it mean that people may think differently, but when we have unity, we have a shared common purpose, we respect one another, we tolerate one another, and we work together harmoniously? And finally, does unity mean that senior members in a center do all the decisions so there is no conflict? Anybody wants to give one person, just unmute you. I mean, if you can unmute, or just, I don't know, are they allowed to unmute?
Not at this point.
Okay, then very well. I mean, I believe this answer is very clear here. Okay, so people may think differently, but share common purpose, respect one another, and work together harmoniously is actually the best response here. It does not mean that everybody thinks alike. In fact, this will not allow us to grow spiritually if we avoid conflict, okay, and if there are differences of opinion altogether by senior members making the decisions, and or we do not express our opinions and remain silent, that will not also allow us to grow spiritually. We have to learn to express our opinions in a very respectful manner, and then of course ensure that we build consensus, and that's what brings the unity. I hope that is what is here. I hope this is very clear. I hope if there are any questions, I don't know whether they can answer. Maybe Archana, we should allow them to unmute, because I want to make this a little bit more interactive. Okay. So this is in conclusion what I was saying earlier. Unity does not mean we think all of us think the same, but it really means that we are good team players. We work together, and we know that the shared purpose is everybody's transformation, everybody's spiritual growth, and that is best achieved through this last one. That is when we respect each other, we tolerate and we accept, and then work together. Let me go to the next and very important part. Before even we talk about unity at an organizational level, we need to know what exactly is unity within oneself. And we have been talking about this many times. That is unity of thought.
Pradosh, your slide is not advancing.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll advance. Okay. Is it now there? Okay. Is it advanced now? Yeah.
Yeah, now you're on the individual level. Unity at
okay.
the individual level.
Yeah. For some reason, it didn't advance there. Anyway, so this is unity within oneself, which is where we have thoughts, words, and actions aligned. That is, we really mean what we say, and we do what we say. As Swami says in this quote, when one's words are in accord with one's thoughts, they become truth, Sathya. When the spoken word is translated into action, it becomes dharma. This is all that is when we have personal integrity. And this is the first and foremost thing before even we talk about unity at the family level or unity in the organizational level. Having thoughts, words, and deed in harmony is the first thing. Let me just go on to the next one. Unity at the family level.
It didn't advance the slide.
Okay. All right. Something is okay. Okay. Is good here?
We are still seeing the site for Vyashti.
I have actually changed it.
Yes, now it is. Now it's on society.
Yeah, probably there is a little bit of lag, maybe, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for letting me know. So I will wait till the slide comes. Okay. So unity at the family level. That is, the whole family is not always thinking alike, but they all know that harmony at home reflects is a building block for harmony in the community. And if there is harmony in the home, there is harmony in the society. And then, of course, if there is harmony in the society, then there is harmony in the nation, and then the world. And so people who have personal integrity coming together and realizing that as a Sai family, we are united. That doesn't mean that we all think alike, but we know what is needed. Follow Swami's those points of code of conduct, 9 points of code of conduct. Have satsangs at home as a family level, Thursday bhajans or seva together or something of that kind that fosters unity. And that will lead all of us also to then afterwards, go ahead and practice unity at the organizational level, whether it is a Sai organization or any other organization. Let me just throw in a next question here, and I don't know whether it shows. Has it come? Okay. Try to see. This is number 2. Okay. Question maybe, Archana, you want to give this as a poll?
Sure. Let me launch the poll.
Yeah, just make maybe 2 or... No, I think this may be next one, Or, okay, we'll just go with this question first. Okay.
So,
Yeah, submit your answers. Okay, read the whole thing. Our Sai Center team is planning a major program. Two groups strongly disagree on the format. Both believe they are acting in Swami's interest. And what is the best response here? Insisting firmly on the idea you feel is right, withdrawing from the planning to avoid conflict, listening openly, expressing your views respectfully, and working towards a shared solution, or waiting for a senior member to settle the matter. I guess answer is very clear. Have you started receiving the answers, Archana? I don't see anything here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I can see the answers are coming in.
Okay, all right. You can tell me, almost everybody got this right, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm still receiving the answers.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, we'll go on to the next one. Okay.
Yeah, let me end the poll so that everybody can see.
Yeah. So everybody got the answer correct, 100%. Okay. Fast learners, because I already know before. There is another question here, the Sai family, Bal Vikas children, question about the family level. Probably this is question number 3. Let's see if we can get this. I think we got a little bit of, maybe can you get the next question?
Sure.
I think we have got a little bit of a sync issue here. The question that I'm showing is probably, 4th one, maybe.
It's not even the 4th, so 3 Bal Vikas children.
Or, we can just do what Swami wants us to do. Let's get this question done.
Yeah, this one.
Okay, so, Swami always has his own plans, isn't it? So let me read this question. A planning meeting for Premataru project tree planting at a local temple is underway. You are completely convinced your idea of planting flowering trees is the best. You are even 97% sure Swami would approve. Others feel that native, non-flowering plants should also be included. You feel flowering plants offer double benefits: flowers for puja and environmental value. What is the best response? Repeating your point louder and adding expressive hand gestures, or thinking they will realize later that I was right, and thus stopping from participating in the discussion further, withdrawal, or secretly planning to plant your favorite flowering tree later during the seva, just to be safe, or none of the above.
Okay, I see answers coming in.
Okay.
So more
Let's get the poll.
responded, so I'll stop the poll. Most of them went for the 4th option. Only one participant went for the 3rd option.
Secretly planting, okay. All right. No, really, the answer is none of the above, actually. We are here, as we all know, to do this together. And we should be doing that is what everybody is agreeing on, which is first they will, let's go to the next question where I will have the correct responses. Okay. Let's see if.
So you want to pull up the Bal Vikas question?
Yes. Okay. Or actually, there is this same question coming again with the correct option, but let's not go there. We don't have time, maybe, but let's go with this Bal Vikas question. Okay. This is really about talking about the family level unity. Okay. And I'll read this. A Sai family with 3 Bal Vikas children is planning the next vacation in Asia. Okay. You, the father, feel a vacation is incomplete without a stopover in Prashanti Nilayam. The children, however, are enthusiastically discussing other destinations. And your Parthi idea seems to receive silent acknowledgement and immediate bypass. You begin to feel your ideas are not getting enough attention. So the responses here are: keeping a mental list titled "Times I Was Ignored." This is father, okay? Announcing during the tea break that you are done with vacation planning. Okay. Third concern, this is explaining that harmony of thought, word, and deed logically requires a Parthi trip, because they once mentioned in 2021 long time ago that they would like to go someday. Or finally, sharing concerns calmly, respectfully, and at the right time.
Yeah, this one we are getting mix of answers.
Yeah, I would assume so. And let's see. Let's look at the answers.
Okay.
The fourth answer, sharing concerns calmly, respectfully, and at the right time, is really the correct answer. Well, 81% people agree that. I mean, number 3 is not 100% correct. Okay, and I don't think we want to discuss all these things here, why and not. But really, I think being respectful and sharing your concerns calmly is the most correct answer. Okay, so because somebody mentioned that they would like to go to Parthi, doesn't mean that we force that decision now. Okay, that's just my way of thinking. Anyway, we'll raise it, ready to listen. Maybe maybe something related to this, if that comes up in breaking those next sessions, we can take this up. But next, let's see if what I can. Do you have another question that you can bring up?
Yeah, we do have a couple of them.
Can you go to the next question? And because then I'll go to the last couple of slides that I have. Okay.
Okay, so the next question, what I'm saying is as the devotional coordinator, that question. Do you want to?
Okay, yeah, let's go with the devotional coordinator question. Let's do this. As the devotional coordinator, you worked tirelessly to organize a 2-day silent retreat. You coordinated the bhajans, invited guest speakers, prepared PowerPoint presentations, set up the altar, and quietly fixed at least 12 last-minute issues that no one noticed. Okay. The retreat is appreciated publicly at the Sai Center after it was over, of course, but your contribution is not mentioned. President forgets to mention your contribution, okay, the devotional coordinator's contribution, or he didn't think that was needed, whatever the answer. So now, what is your choice? Okay, you have, of course, you feeling hurt and quietly withdrawing from future efforts. First response, okay. Bringing it up immediately, preferably while the appreciation is still happening. Okay, whether you would like to do this, let us know. Reducing effort in future projects, let someone else do it next time, or none of the above.
Yeah, everybody is agreeing to the same answer.
Okay. Nobody wants to bring it up right away when telling that it. Okay. Okay, somebody wants to bring it up right away. Okay. All right. Yeah, but none of the above is really the correct answer. Okay. We are here, as we all know, we are here to do the seva and not expecting any recognition or anything. Swami knows our efforts, right? So that is what brings the unity. Okay, I mean, when we don't expect recognition or any kind of praise for whatever we do, even those last minute 12 issues that you fixed, nobody noticed, Swami noticed. Okay, we all know that. Okay. So true seva means the joy is in the offering, the reward is in the peace, the recognition is already given by the one who matters. We don't need recognition. I mean, that is given silently within ourselves, right? We don't know recognitions from anybody other than even from Swami, of course. It comes internally. Do you do your duty without concern for the results? Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Not able to move my slides for some reason.
We are able to see your slides. You are moving.
Yeah. So let's go to this slide. Unity at the. We already discussed this through those questions. Unity at the societal level, unity in the. So after discussing the family, we have to discuss now the Sai organization. And I got these two very powerful quotes by Swami. So in the Sai organizations, the primary requisite is unity and mutual trust. Only with unity, you can promote the well-being of the world. If there is discord within the organization, how can you serve others? Make forbearance your ornament. Through love, eliminate your bad traits. Do not import into the Sathya Sai organization political faction mongering, group formation, scandal spreading, and vote catching in order to win positions of authority or oust others from them. Do not create splits and parties among the devotees in order to establish yourself over others. Even when you are slandered, you should not lose balance. Put up with slander and scandalizing talk. Sathya Sai speaks, this volume 11, 14 May, this was 1977, I think this didn't come, okay. And here, of course, this was from October 1993. Make forbearance, very two powerful sentences here, right? Make forbearance your ornament and do not lose balance. We will get criticized, we will get feedback, as we call it many times. And sometimes it may not be the feedback that we expect. And I think during this time, as officers, definitely, or even for that matter, any devotee who is doing seva or any activity for that matter, should remember these quotes. Whether we are slandered or whether we are encountering this kind of scandalizing talk against us, we should be firm. We should not be losing our balance. Don't withdraw yourself because somebody criticized. Work with, do seva with extra vigor, because Swami is the one who matters. Of course, listen to everybody who is giving you the feedback. It may not be the most praiseworthy all the time, but for the sake of the unity of the organization, we have to show this forbearance. And this is the most important thing. And if any of these things, as an officer, if you notice that, there is, you may yourself be not involved, but it may, if it is happening within your organization, within your center or wherever you are, try to see what you can do by using the principles of unity, what you can do to listen and to provide your feedback as needed, and to see that there is consensus that is achieved in every situation. We have to do our best and then leave the results to Swami. So this is the most important thing about the unity in organization that I'm sure all of us will find very very useful. Let me go to this last part, and these are all these are actually picked up very self-explanatory. I got this the Sathya Sai speaks references. Okay, why unity is important? That is to expand our love, to remove evil thoughts from within us, to remove disorder and conflict from the world, to experience Advaita, non-dualism, and finally, to transform our conscience into consciousness. And I'll probably just read this quote. In the interest of the time, I will not go to the whole thing. I will just read this quote here. Okay. Man has a name. Man has a name and form, but Chaitanya, that is awareness, has no form. The Chaitanya that is present in human body is called conscience. The all-pervasive Chaitanya is called consciousness. When the individual understands the principle of unity in diversity, the conscience gets transformed into consciousness. So this is my final slide. I will have one last question, maybe. Do we have this question, Archana?
Yeah, I do. Let me launch that.
Okay. A Sai Center meeting starts at 6 p.m. At 7:15 p.m., agenda item number 1 is still being discussed. I mean, this meeting was supposed to be only for 1 hour. Okay, and what you do? Continuing discussion until everyone agrees, letting frustration silently build, respecting time and trusting collective decisions, saying we'll fix it next meeting, and then just not doing anything.
Yeah, this one we have mix of answers.
Okay. All right, that's my final slide. And thank you for this opportunity, all of you. And thank you for your time.
Let me share these results if you want to talk about it. Yeah, few people said it's
so the respecting time and trusting collective decisions is the correct thing. Okay, we should be mindful of the time. We should not be going with the meetings on and on, which I have done many a time. So I'm also guilty here. Okay, so but trying to be respectful of time, starting it in time and ending it in time, if at all, or at least have time, extended time added to the meeting first only. Okay, so this is it. Okay, these are just my perspectives. Of course, some of them may not be 100% agreeable to everybody, which can be taken up later. Thank you, Akshay and everybody. Balu, Sairam, and I'm done. Thank you.
Sairam, Brother Pradosh, thank you very much. So we have one more presentation to go, and then the last half of the program will be a lot of interaction. So bear with us for one more presentation, and I'm going to go through some announcements and then talk a little bit about guidelines and Swami's expectations for us as officers. And it looks like we're running a little bit over already, so I'll cut back the presentation and maybe some of it we'll do later on during the question and answer if we have time at that time. So just a couple of announcements. Zonal committees, sometimes there's confusion on what the committees are for. And basically, they're formed by the zonal chair. They're temporary. They could last longer. They could be reformulated. They're really ad hoc committees. And why do we have them? It's more opportunity for seva. We have so much talent around our zone, and we want to really give people an opportunity to contribute where they're interested, where they can do seva. Of course, it enriches the organization, enriches all of us by having more people involved and contributing. They're purely think tanks and special project committees. There's no authority, no governance. They have no administrative responsibilities. They're not to duplicate what the officers or the other wings are doing. They're really there for their niche and the projects that they're working on. And the communication should go through regular organizational communication. They shouldn't be directly communicating to centers and members until after people have chosen to participate in any of their particular programs. And so these are our committees that we have currently, and these are in flux. So we have the Humanitarian Relief Committee, and Brothers Giridhar Gidigunta is now being joined by Brother Subaraj Narayanasamy. We have our medical committee. Dr. Geeta Kamath has been doing this for many years, and assisting her will be Dr. Mysore Maitri. We have our Prashanti Connection Committee, and the role of this committee is simply to facilitate travel and connection to Prashanti Nilayam, both physically and spiritually. And Brother Sai Kishore Polaru has an outstanding team, and they're doing a lot of good work. And many times they get contacted with people that are coming to Prashanti for the first time, and they really take them step by step and help formulate ways to make the experience meaningful. We have our Go Green Committee. This is doing seva to our planet Earth, and they constantly coming up with innovative ways to discipline all of us in thinking about Mother Earth and how can we enhance our spiritual development by sacrificing our own selfish desires and thinking of the collective whole. And we have Sri Devi Devaraj and Sri Priya Seshadri heading that committee. We have our CHV committee, and that's in two parts. It's the Education and Human Values. And this committee serves members of our community that are not in the Sai fold, so to speak. They may not have ever heard of Sri Sathya Sai Baba. They're in our community, and this is a way where we can come up with programs to help reach those individuals of any age, adults as well as children. And they come up with several programs and initiatives. Sometimes they'll focus on certain professions, such as teachers or doctors, and they're always working regularly, seeing how they can enhance Swami's message to the overall community. And the other subcommittee is the Educational Programs Committee, headed by Dr. Raja Rao. And the goal of this committee is to serve the membership through special programs that are assigned to give some certificates, give people something meaningful to work on, almost giving them the experience of being a Sai student, having a regular class, maybe bi-weekly, maybe monthly. It depends from course to course. But these courses are an opportunity to delve further into an aspect of Bhagwan's teachings. And these committees have been working with Prashanti Nilayam and the Center for Human Values in Prashanti Nilayam, the Vidya Vahini program in Prashanti Nilayam. And so be on the lookout for many of the programs that they tie us into. We have one more committee, the Media Committee. And this is probably, not, this day and age, arguably the most important committee. Without them, this meeting couldn't be held. We have it divided into several subcommittees. Archana Madam, who you've seen on the call, has been organizing the overall committee, as well as digital and social media. Sharmila Sanka is taking on the responsibility for content development, editorial responsibilities. Shrishti Ramdas from Trinidad has extensive experience in audio-visual and creative media, and he's available to really help strengthen the organization in those aspects. And we have Brother Ravi Nakina, an experienced devotee for many years, who has a good tie and connection with Prashanti Nilayam, and so he serves as the liaison with special projects that are going on with the Media Center, as well as with Global Council internationally, the projects that they do on a media level. Brother Ravi helps facilitate that communication. So a couple of action items that have been assigned to all of us. We had our executive committee meeting in December 14th, and there are three main action items that we all need to keep track of. One is we had our 11th World Conference during Swami's birthday, and the resolutions from those conference have been made into study circles, 6 different study circles that our Educational Programs Committee really spent a lot of quality time on going over it and putting it out. And the goal is to have everyone in the organization complete those study circles before Guru Purnima. The center level, whenever they can find some time, try to get a schedule to get it completed. Some areas may want to do it at a regional level. It's really up to all of you, but this is something that the vice chairman has really emphasized, that he would love to see all of Global Council as a united offering to Bhagwan complete those study circles. The second action item is to have a conference on human values. We discussed having every zone have a conference on human values. And I think one way we should probably do it in our zone is we have many regional retreats, we have national retreats in different countries. I think maybe setting the theme for these retreats this year, something dealing with human values. We can have a segment of our national or regional retreats, invite some dignitaries, some people of the public. Again, because of this centenary year, it's a wonderful opportunity to present Bhagwan's teachings to the community. And then the third action item is a torch for world peace. And this was inaugurated during the birthday celebrations by the President of India. And the goal is to launch it, just like for the Olympics, you have the torch. This is a torch to launch across the world, have it go through several different zones. We'll have 3 different torches, and it's going to be launched during Aradhana Mahotsav Day, April 24th. And each zone will have the torch for approximately a month, where they can bring it from centers, organize some events. And I think it would be an ideal way to combine the torch coming into our zone at the time that we have the majority of our human values conferences. And so a committee will be formed, and be on the lookout if you're interested in serving on that committee. You know people that would be good for that committee. please let your national presidents know. So now I want to spend a little bit of time on guidelines. Brother Aruno beautifully talked about Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. So first, we of course have to listen. We have to listen and consume. And there's information that we have to take in. And there's no shortage of information. The information really is a way to remove ignorance. We have 42 volumes of Sathya Sai Speaks. We have over 2,000 published discourses of Bhagwan. We have 15 summer shower series. We have 16 Vahini volumes. So there's no dearth of information that Bhagwan has painstakingly presented to all of us. So there's no excuse for not knowing what to listen to. We have plenty of material to listen and consume. But that, of course, is not enough. Then we have to reflect and digest what we listen to, what we read, what we soak in from Bhagwan. This helps remove the doubts that will come to us. And this gives us conviction. Once we have that reflection, we have a conviction, and we can do this individually, we can do it collectively. And then, of course, finally, Nididhyasanam, it's where we assimilate it. It becomes a part of us. It becomes our modus operandi. It manifests in every thought, word, and deed that we do. It leads us to complete realization. And so what has Swami cautioned us of? How do things work in this Kali Yuga? And Bhagwan, when he was younger, you all know he created this play, Chepinatu Chestara. And the play unfortunately depicts the plight of the Kali Yuga, which we are all part of. And unfortunately, it also depicts what's been happening in Swami's organization over the years. And so not only on an individual level do we have to really know, do we do what we say, but we have to reflect from an organizational perspective. Having clearly been told by Bhagwan how his organization should function, are we actually functioning in that way? From merely quoting Swami to putting his directives into practice. From merely knowing the guidelines to living by them. Or are we only following the guidelines selectively? What we agree with, we follow. What we don't think is right from our personal perspective, we choose not to follow. Are we considering recognition that we get or the convenient way out more important than the principles of obedience and humility? Are our personal desires overriding the importance of collective harmony, collective discipline? Is it really true devotion if that devotion overrides discipline? Should collective harmony and unity be set aside just because of individual excellence? If we're so good at something, does that mean we should just deal away with having to work with others because we're so good at it? Will we restrain our own ego even when we're competent in what we've been assigned to do? Or especially when we're assigned something that we supposedly think we're good at? Will we follow procedure even when you think you know better? Will you wait for approval rather than going ahead and independently acting with good intentions? And so we have a lot of work to do, and I of course place myself at the top of the list for needing work on this regard. And in 1995, Swami again talked about how this is not being followed by the organization during one of his world conferences. So how many of us are aware that we have operational guidelines? Hopefully, agreeing to be an officer in an organization, you are aware that the entire global council across the world has operational guidelines. Hopefully, you have all read them or will read them. How many are you aware that we have Zone 1 guidelines to supplement those global guidelines? And how many of us have read those guidelines? And these are updated periodically, and we've just updated them this year, and we'll be re-releasing them shortly. We have so much information, and the Indian organization during the 90th birthday did a tremendous service. they put together all the discourses that Bhagwan specifically made for the organization. 86 discourses specifically addressing officers, specifically addressing how he wants the organization to be run. And of course, now we have the AI Sri Sathya Sai-Sahitya, where you can ask Bhagwan's teachings any question and get good answers. So I think it's time to reflect a little bit on Swami's organization. In 1961, Bhagwan during Dasara said, I am launching a Seva Samiti. He said that those who become members of this Samiti and perform selfless service will be liberated from the cycle of birth and death. Not just them, but also their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren. This is the kind of weight Bhagwan is placing on those joining his organization. But he also says in this discourse, however, the test will be severe. I will bear witness to the number of people who withstand the test and emerge victorious. So it's not easy being an officer, and maybe I can tell you this now after you've agreed to serve as an officer. You will be tested, and this is on purpose. So Bhagwan wants to test us for our own benefit. And so in the first organizational conference, this was an all India conference in 1967 in Madras, and Swami made so many important statements that have been lost over the years. So Swami said he's forming an organization. Who will take part in this organization? And Swami says, you are the chosen ones. You are the instruments. So it's no coincidence that we are all here where we are. Swami addressed, what should we do? We should spread Vedic science among the furthest corners of this vast land. How do we do it? By your calmness, by your composure, your humility, your purity, your virtue, your courage, your conviction, under all circumstances. That showing everyone that the sadhana you practice has made you a better, happier, and more useful person. So this is the crux of it. The whole purpose of this is for us to advance spiritually, to realize our own inner divinity. And so Swami even addressed at that very first conference, why do we have guidelines? The slightest sign of hypocrisy will weaken the foundations of the edifice. That is why it is necessary to lay down certain tests and qualifications, certain broad guidelines for those who stand forth as workers in this field. Swami goes on to say, what is the first ideal to keep in mind? Do not crave for status, authority, or position. Brother Shiva beautifully illustrated this. Do not allow any pomp or show. Who are we pumping? Who are we showing? Does the Lord of the universe need to be impressed by anything other than our behavior? Do not compete for publicity, recognition, or praise. And what is the best plan that Bhagwan told us? Following my instructions without demur is the best plan. And one of the best ways I've seen Swami describe devotion that really touched my heart is true devotion is obedience to Bhagwan. He doesn't define it as singing a beautiful bhajan or completing 1,000 seva projects. Pure devotion is obedience to Bhagwan's instructions. So what two traits must not invade the organization? So of course Bhagwan knew how we were going to be conducting ourselves over the years. And so he addressed it all right up front. Egoism, sense of personal possession, pride, or achievement. And then Swami says, what is the first rule to follow? Whatever you desire to others to do, you must first put into daily practice, sincerely and with steadfastness. Swami goes on to describe who can be members. Very simple. You must want to grow spiritually. You must have full faith in the name that the organization bears and in spreading that name in the manner suited to its message and majesty. And finally, you must have won recognition as a good person. That's the definition of a member. But Swami goes on to say, what if you do all of those, but you don't get a position or a place in the organization? Then what? Well, Swami says you will have a place here. Swami goes on to say, is there an oath for members and officers? And I think this is something we should all collectively do right before we close. When should we remember this oath? Before engaging ourselves in activities. When we arise from bed. At night when we go to bed, ponder over the activities during the day, examine them, whether you went against any of those. And what mistakes should we avoid committing? There may be some who insist that only Sai bhajan should be sung, only the name and form of Sathya Sai be used. This is a great mistake. You are thereby dishonoring Sai. Do not develop fanaticism or sectarianism. What about funds? Whatever expense they decide to incur for the work of the organization, they have to collect among themselves without seeking help from those outside the circle. They have, of course, to contribute according to their capacity and limit, the work to the resources they can pool amongst themselves. What about building halls of worship? Attempts are being made in many places to build Sathya Sai mandirs, but Sathya Sai will be happy if he is installed in your hearts. That is the mandir I like, not those. What holiday should we celebrate? You must also celebrate the birthdays of the Mahatmas who led man to the God within him, and also all days held holy by your brothers. What does Swami remind us about our role to spread Vedic? This is the following year. Now, this is a world conference. By this time, many centers had been established throughout the world. I think 15 to 30 countries were represented during this world conference. And Swami added more. What does Swami remind us about our role to spread Vedic wisdom? Let me remind you that the best and only successful way in which you can do it is to translate the message into your own lives. That is the best way we spread Bhagwan's message, is by living it. What warning does Swami give? I do not want the impression to gain ground that I desire this name and this form to be publicized. I have not come to set afoot a new cult. I do not want people to be misled on this point. I have not got the slightest intention to utilize my service organization for propagating my name or canvass homage for my name. No, I am only content. I'm content only when spiritual endeavors and disciplines to elevate and purify man are progressing everywhere. What has Swami said about supporting officers? When once a person is selected, an atmosphere of peace and love, cooperation and tolerance should prevail, and everyone must follow his or her directions, respect his or her guidance. It is only then that the divine grace will be conferred on you. Some amongst you have been selected as leaders and guides. Carry out their instructions without demur. If you feel any doubt regarding the propriety or advisability of those instructions, talk them over with the leaders, alone, in a spirit of friendliness, but do not disregard to modify those instructions at any cost. The leader has to pay attention to the overall situation, which may not be so clear to you. So with that, I want to go ahead and just skip ahead for the interest of time and explain the breakout sessions. So the rest of this is going to be a breakout format, and it has many purposes. One is so we can meet fellow officers and more intimately share our love of Bhagwan. And they're going to present some teachings, some dilemmas that are not so black and white, because many times we're presented with things that really require us to use our discrimination and go back and try to find Swami's teachings on these matters and discuss it and think about it. And we've tried to pick some scenarios that are going to present some gray areas. And we want you all to discuss it. And there may be many right answers. There may be some wrong answers, but it's something that will be discussed amongst all of you. So we're going to have two 45-minute breakout sessions, and they're going to be randomly assigned. So about 7, 9 or so people will be randomly assigned to a breakout session, and each session will have a name to it. And so once the session starts, each of you should introduce yourself, your name, your center, and your current role, and maybe a minute, not 10 minutes, but 1 minute or two, when you came to the organization and when you came to know about Swami. So you get to know each other a little bit before you start the discussion. And then during the first breakout session, this is going to be done in an alphabetical order by first name. So we're doing this randomly because random means Swami's deciding. So alphabetically, the first person is going to read the scenario, and Archana is going to send out all the scenarios to all of us. So we will have all of the scenarios for both breakout sessions. So the first breakout session, there are going to be 4 scenarios. So the first person reads the scenario and the associated questions, and then each person shares in order after that. Now, it's perfectly okay to pass. You don't have to say anything, but we want it to be a discipline. Everybody goes in order for the first round. And then afterwards, there's no further order. Then anyone can make comments, have a nice back and forth discussion. And the same thing will happen in the second breakout session, except you'll go in reverse alphabetical order for the second session. So 4 scenarios have been provided, and take as much time as you'd like for each scenario. There's no, rule that you have to complete every scenario. If you only get through the first or second scenario, that's fine. The goal is to have a meaningful discussion, and it's okay if all the scenarios are not covered. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Archana, and she's going to distribute the scenarios for the first breakout session and assign all of us randomly to the groups. And we'll have a little time warning sent out so you know when there's a few minutes left to wrap things up. So with that, I hope we all have fun meeting each other, sharing with each other, loving with each other, so we can all propel ourselves to a better understanding and implementation of Bhagwan's message. Sai Ram, we'll see you all later.
So